I started testing a new product just for this video, just to have direct talking points about what I'm going to speak about. But in running this product just to show you guys live examples of what I'm talking about, I think I found one of the best ideas I've ever had. It's a completely, I don't want to use the word untapped, but it's an untapped product. It's never been sold before. There is not a lot of content for it. It is going to be something that is going to have to be built from the ground up, which is my specialty. Just thought I'd let you know. But enjoy the video. I made $1,000 drop shipping in 2026. It still works. No, I'm just joking. This video is not gonna have some sort of crazy intro because I have to film it a little bit quick. I'm going to New York tomorrow, so I have a lot to kind of deal with when it comes to that. Me and my girlfriend's anniversary is also today, but I want to get something out. I want to publish some sort of update of what's going on because there's a lot of good things going on with me and ecom. What you're seeing is the result of 4 or 5 days of testing. This is the ad account. This is something that's never been sold before. It is completely ground up, no cala data, nothing. And as you can see, I'm a very slow tester. I'm just do like $50 a day, $30 a day. I'm not very aggressive when it comes to managing ad accounts. I'm very slow and stable with it. But a lot of these purchases are not tracked. So this tracked 15 here, but on the actual store, we have 22. So if you go to my website, griffinadam.com, and sign in and use the profit calculator, we're selling our AOVs around $49, although the product price is very different, and then our COGS are average around $11. So our break-even ROAS is 1.29, and if all purchases tracked, this would be at a 2.20. So we're already profitable in the early days, which is a very good sign. A lot of people tell you have to be profitable within the first 2-3 days. Not really true. Not if you're doing something like this. This is not a cala data rip. This is something I'm genuinely trying to test intent for and figure out which angles work. And as you can see, I have 3 campaigns here. This one's kind of self-explanatory. It's not a purchase campaign. This is just a $5 engagement campaign I have running to some posts every single day just to get some activity on my page. And a lot of people will come at your throat for saying that, but these are people who have played the game of telephone with other people saying it's bad, and then they say it's bad, and they say it's bad. But no, this helps a lot. One initial issue I was having with the UGC content, which you see right here, is CPM was way too high. It was like 150, and clearly my account was just not very susceptible to giving me low CPM UGC. And so I started running this for a few days. I kept running my image ads to get the CPM lower on those. These started at like 60, 65. And sure enough, after 2 or 3 days of just running these two and kind of building more trust with this account, this dropped all the way to 80, which is not great for my niche, but it's also in a much better spot. And as you can see, this campaign, which is fairly new at a very low budget, is already doing quite well. So I really want to talk about this whole setup and how you guys should be testing ads. Honestly, it's not a crazy budget. I spent $500, but I made back $1168 with around $200 in COGS, I believe, and I'm still early on testing. I still don't really know what works for this brand yet. I'm going to talk about everything you're about to see. Also, it comes from a conversation that I had yesterday. One of my coaching clients, Tyler, just crossed 50K on a brand, also refresh, that we started at the beginning of December. And I had a very long call with him yesterday, kind of about his ad account and the way it was headed and how it was doing. I think in that call, a lot of very good points were brought up that should be brought up in this video as well, as far as how ad accounts work. It is not just uploading introductory ads, meaning, so let me kind of backpedal a little bit. This video is not gonna be for extreme beginners. You have to be a little bit aware of what market awareness is, how to tell what stage your audience is at. Let's assume you're doing things like me. I only sell things that have never been sold before. That's how my hit rate is so high, because I know how to do it very, very, very well. If you're going to sell something that is completely unaware, it is your duty and your job to make ads educating people on what it is and introduce them to the problem it could potentially pose if they do not buy. That means introductory ads. So this is all going to be under the assumption that you are running a very unaware product and you have to educate people all the way through and through, like I've had to do for this product. So most people will upload introductory ads without even realizing it. Introductory ads are top of funnel ads. They can be middle of funnel ads if you make them very passively. Introductory ads are just introducing people to your product and why it's different. Think about like introducing this product. This is what it does, this brand new product. And then people, rightfully so, go, wow, this is great. And these might convert for a bit. But once you reach a certain point, in Tyler's case, it was around $1,500 a day in revenue. You reach a point where these do all they can do by themselves. So most people upload introductory ads, these top of funnel, middle of funnel ads, and they'll upload a lot. They'll watch people like Mark Builds Brands, maybe Anthony Camacho, both great guys, extremely smart, but they say run more ads. Volume is extremely important, and I agree. But when they say that, and when I say that, we don't mean upload the same ads over and over and over again. There's an ecosystem that has to be built. An ad account is not a straight arrow down like this. You don't want to upload introductory ads, volume, and then pray. You might get somewhere, but you're going to struggle later on. You're going to see ROAS dip. Your ads are going to fatigue quicker. Let me kind of explain how to not do that. So an ad account, the way that I see it and what's really helped me out is understanding that an ad account is kind of an ecosystem. It needs multiple different kinds of ads running in a circle that support each other. So this is a very simple example of my testing setup. Introductory ads. So again, completely unaware product. Okay, I have to introduce people to what this is. Cool. I need to make introductory ads. For me, those introductory ads are almost always statics. I am really, really good at making static ads. I just am. I wanted to be a graphic designer before I did e-com. I have a lot of experience. I'm really, really good at making static ads. A couple guys on my coaching server have seen my ads for this product. I sent them to them because I had to send them to somebody because I was proud of them. And they can vouch. These are really good static ads, very good awareness introductory ads. So I did that properly. And that is the campaign you're seeing here that did so well early on. It's still doing well. These are all introductory ads. If you want me to go inside, it's a super heavy skew. You'll see most of these spend nothing, and this one right here took all the spend. And if you could see the ad, which I'm not going to show you, you'd see why it took all the spend. It's really good. With static ads, and an introductory static ad, if you're selling a product that's unaware, they all have certain elements in common. They show the product very well. They show the product in use very well, meaning they don't just have a picture of the product, but they have a visual analogy of some sort. I'm trying to figure out how to word this without outing myself. They have some sort of visual analogy that really, it shows how the product works in an extremely powerful way. Extremely powerful. It makes people go, wow, this is big. Instead of just taking a picture of your product and putting it on a picture, that's never really going to work. You know what I mean? That is how you would properly make a static ad for something like this. Don't make it super, super basic. You got to show the product and you show why it's new. But this is where a lot of people mess up. What do these ads do? These ads bring in cold eyes. Very cool. Cold eyes sometimes convert, but you can't reliably expect them to convert every single time. It's their first time seeing your ad. If you watch my other videos, you know that every single time somebody sees your ad, they're twice as likely to convert. Therefore, you got to bring them back. But this is where people run into issues. They just upload introductory ads over and over and over again, and they slam people with these over and over and over again. So let's say Betsy sees an ad saying, hey, introducing our product, and she goes, oh, wow, very cool. And she clicks on the site and goes through it. She's like, you know what, not right now. And she clicks off. Well, the only other ads you have to retarget her, other ads going, hey, Betsy, look at this product. And she's like, I already looked at it. Then she keeps scrolling, sees another one. She says, hey, Betsy, introducing this product. Like, it's a brick wall. Never going to get her back. You have to have backup. You have to have support. That's where back of funnel ads come into play. And a lot of people assume back of funnel only means you're only allowed to run these once you're already doing 10K, 20K a day. But it's kind of true, but not really. These, some sort of back of funnel ads, some sort of low-hanging fruit trap should always be run. If you're running introductory ads, which you will always be running those. For every one person that purchases from an introductory ad, there are probably 50 to 100 people assuming a 1 to 2% conversion rate, which is already low. But let's just assume 50 to 100 people on the site not buying that could have potentially bought. Some are hard-nosed for sure, but some people would 100% buy if they just had a little bit of a push, and you're losing money because pushing them with more of these is not going to get them to buy. You need to hit them with something like this. And let me actually show you guys an example of a really good back of funnel ad, just low-hanging fruit kind of ad. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to go pull it off the internet. Okay, this ad from AG1 is really good at low-hanging fruit. This is obviously not targeting the people who have already signed up for the subscription. Doesn't make any sense. Why would it be? They've already bought. You see? This is only targeting people who have almost purchased before and just did not. This is a great ad to push people to buy. The only people seeing this ad are people who are already on AG1's site. You think cold eyes are seeing this? Probably not. This is great. And this probably is not running at a super high budget compared to the rest of their ads, compared to their introductory ads, because there's always going to be there's not going to be an infinite pool of low-hanging fruit. The amount of low-hanging fruit customers you have heavily depends on how your introductory ads are doing. When you scale top of funnel ads, middle of funnel ads, you scale based on ROAS, right? There's an infinite pool of people, theoretically, to see your stuff. But with back of funnel ads like this, just a few you should be running at a very low budget, there's not an infinite pool. The amount of people that will respond well to this heavily depend on the budget that this is at, how this ad is doing. If this ad is doing good and you scale it and you scale it and you scale it, and your pool of people who buys becomes bigger, inversely, the pool of people who do not buy also becomes bigger, these will be more effective. These don't scale on ROAS. These average an extremely high ROAS. But just because this gets a 5 ROAS in one day doesn't mean you should triple the budget. It doesn't make sense. You're not trying to reach new people. You're just trying to pick up what these ads are losing. So always having this down here at the bottom is crucial for the health of an ad account. A lot of people do not understand how an ad account works. I'll talk about angle testing in a minute. Let me talk about this real quick. An ad account isn't every man for itself. Every campaign affects one another, good or bad. That's what people say, don't upload the same ad into 2 campaigns, because they cannibalize. The campaigns work together. I'm pretty good friends with Ben Facciani. You guys have probably seen him on YouTube. And he made a YouTube video the other day, and he made a very good point in it. He said, I just uploaded an ad into my ad account, and it's a new winning ad. But then he said, not in the way that you might think. The ROAS is actually, it's all right. But what it's done for the other ads in my ad account is monumental. It lifted up his whole ad account just because that ad reached a new pocket that the other ads could not. Don't think of ad accounts like these solitary campaigns, these solitary elements. They're not. They work together. It flows. It's a whole ecosystem, and one piece is not complete without the other. So understanding that might change the way that you test a little bit. Testing is still fairly simple. As you can see, I literally only have really just 2 campaigns. This doesn't even count. But if we were to look into any other larger ad account that I have, it's a lot bigger. There are multiple campaigns. I'd say max 10 campaigns, and they're all working together in harmony. It's beautiful. But don't think that ad accounts are these solitary things. They flow, they work, and they do other things too. Let me talk about that. So angle testing. This ad strategy video isn't a typical ad strategy video. I'm not going to be like, yes, then click CBO and then set the budget to this daily. Plenty of videos like that. Plenty of videos. I'm a firm believer that if the ads are good enough, you can just spam click through any setting you want and the ads will perform if they're good. So I'm not going to walk you guys through my exact setup because it really doesn't matter, and I'm probably doing the same thing you're doing. I run a CBO campaign. Sometimes I run ABO campaigns. It really depends on what I'm feeling like. It doesn't make a huge difference at all. But what does matter is the angles you're covering, how to cover them effectively. Because if you are still uploading 5 ripped creatives into a CBO, putting it at a $50 budget, and praying because Rippy Club told you to, you're not. There's better ways to do it. There really is. Angle testing. Make sure they're actually angles. When I say angle test, or test 5 different angles, and then the person I said it to gets back to me with 5 different angles, they're rarely ever angles. Don't be afraid to go niche with your angles. Niche is rewarding. If you can get very, very niche with your angles, you will be rewarded. I'm talking down to the specific problem that only applies to a specific age range and a specific gender and maybe even a specific race. I've seen it work before. I've made it work before, not the race thing, but very niche problems. Everything I do, it's such a niche problem that a lot of people, you're thinking very surface level, would think, oh, well, that's too niche, there's not enough buyers. Our brains can't comprehend how many people there are to sell to. Trust me, there are enough. Make sure they are actually angles and not just like people who have digestion problems. No. People in this, women in this age range who have digestive problems because of the specific medication that a lot of women take at this age. There you go. Now your ads can be so direct. They can be sniper shots. Make sure they're actually angles. As far as angle testing, I just do it per, I'll show you right here. I just do it per ad set. So if you go into the static here, you can see just a bunch of ad sets. These are all individual angles. And clearly it's skewed heavily towards one. But I did 7 angles just because I could come up with 7. Minimum 3, max 10 if you're crazy. Just keep in mind Even this was a little crazy of me to do. $50 a day on 7 ad sets it really is kind of crazy, but it is what it is. I need to be doubling the budget anyways, because today it's at almost a 6 ROAS. So I need to be up in the budget there. But yeah. So that's extremely important. Keep it very simple. Don't get too complicated with it. You really don't need to. Understand volatility. This is something else that's going to help you out in your ad account a lot. What is volatility? Volatility is math. Volatility is understanding how quickly a metric can change, so you stop getting scared and pocket watching your ads. People tell you, don't pocket watch your ads. Oh, let it spend out. And that's cool, but I get why that doesn't help much. That doesn't help much because I know what you're feeling. It's this emotional feeling of, oh, I need to watch this ad, and oh, it's doing so bad, and oh my God, I'm just spending more money. So surface level advice like that doesn't really help. Let me mathematically break down to you why you should not care what your ads are doing. Anything under $20 in spend. Simple math. I'll use extreme examples to start. Let's say your ad is spent $5 and it has 1 click. Well, on paper, that's a $5 cost per click, yeah? Okay, cool. And your CPM might be high too. Let's say your CPM is $150. A lot of people would turn that ad off, and that is crazy to me. That is crazy to me. If you understand how volatile CPM is at an early spend, and how volatile your cost per click is at an early spend, that's so stupid to do. CPM is a little more complex. It's not really math. CPM just changes so quick early on. It doesn't get set in stone ever. It is a constantly changing metric. So be aware that early on, it can change snap of a finger. It can go from $200 CPM to $1,000 CPM within $2 of spend. It just can. So never be scared of that early on. You spend $15, $20 and your CPM is still $150. Okay, it's pretty set in stone. Unless you were to leave it on for a week, then it might drop down to $100. But you're kind of cooked there. Cost per click is the big one. That's the biggest reason people turn off ads, is the cost per click is not good. And it's one of the most valid reasons. And a lot of the times that's why I turn off ads, because without traffic, you can't get conversions, right? But let's go back to our example. $5 spent, 1 click. $5 cost per click. Ignoring all context, that is extremely bad and that should be off. But a lot of people don't think about the difference of the level of seriousness from a $5 cost per click at $100 spent compared to a $5 cost per click at $5 spent. You have to keep in mind that as you're staring at this campaign that has spent $5 with 1 click, freaking out over it, if one measly person decides to click on your ad, one person, randomly, right now, all of a sudden your cost per click is cut in half. That's called being volatile. That's called being in a position to change, to get good really quickly. If 2 people click, all of a sudden, you're sub $2 cost per click. That's volatile. Things can change so quick. Do not make decisions in time frames where things can change so quick. It's the stupidest thing you can do. You're going to be going on a merry-go-round, and odds are you're going to turn the campaign off, and then a couple more clicks are going to track before it actually stops. You're going to freak out and turn it back on, and then you're in this mess of turning it off and on. Just leave it. And understand that you're leaving it because of volatility. If you spent $25 and your cost per click is still $5, if you just do the math on that, the amount of clicks it is now going to take at a very low amount of spend to get that cost per click even remotely good is a lot more difficult to do. Therefore, it is a lot better decision to turn it off at that amount spent. So I hope that makes sense. Everybody tells you not to pocket watch your ads. I'm explaining the math behind it. Just understand volatility, how volatile things are. Same with, you know what the most volatile metric is? Your cost per purchase. Let's say you've spent $100 on a campaign and it's got 1 sale. You have $100. Excuse me. You have $100 cost per purchase. That's freaky, man. That'll freak you out. That's not good at all. You're losing money. But if you get one more measly sale, which is not difficult to do, that can come out of nowhere. If you've ever ran a campaign ever that has been semi-successful, you know it can get good quick. It can also get bad quick. If you get one more purchase within like the next $5-10 spent, your cost per purchase gets cut in half. A cost per purchase is the only metric that can cut in half at $100 spent. That's also volatile. Also volatile. One more rule that I have that everybody should abide by is to never judge, and let's go, this kind of gets us into the next thing. Understand fluctuation. Never, ever, ever make a decision on a campaign or an ad or anything. Don't make a decision based off of one day. Ever. No, there is no situation you could show me where it would be valid to make a decision off of one day. Every decision you make in your ad account needs to be based off of a 3 all the way to 7 day range. That is what matters. Blended metrics. If you go day by day, excuse me. If you go day by day and make decisions every single day, 1, you have a lack of understanding on how meta works, and 2, you're going to be an emotional wreck, man. It's always going to be up and down, and up and down, and up and down. That's how it's always going to be. Always. Let me give you a very clear example. Look at today for me. Today's gone quite well. You see? 4.43 ROAS, 5 ROAS here, 3 ROAS here. Okay, very cool, right? Well, let's look at yesterday. Yesterday I had a 0.36 ROAS. This overspent $75, nothing. This got 1 sale. You think I cared? I didn't care, because the days leading up to it, go 10th to the 13th, were very good, pretty good. Again, a few of these did not track, but we're probably around a 1.92 ROAS, which is profitable for these angles being tested. Okay, so I don't look at just the 14th. I look at the 10th to the 14th. And I see, okay, you know what? Even though this campaign did terrible that one day, look, it's still a decent campaign for testing angles, for understanding what's working and what's not, accounting for the mistracked purchases. You know what? It's still green. And if you guys don't know why these are these colors, there's something called conditional formatting, where you can pretty much go to your breakdown and go to, sorry, not breakdown, your columns, conditional formatting, and you set rules. So if X number is above X KPI, turn it this color. This you kind of understand easier if you're profitable or not. So I have all of my unprofitable ROAS as red. So this campaign was unprofitable to say. And then everything profitable or what I deem good, so a couple of these, is considered green. That's why the numbers are there. But if you back it up, even like any date range from 10th to the 13th, I just did that, 11th to the 13th, let's get it closer, even better. Let's do 12th to the 13th combined, pretty good. So why in the world would I freak out about a campaign that's made me money every single day for one horrible day? And the next question, even if you understand that, you'd ask, okay, but why does this happen? And the truth is, it's learning, man. It's prospecting. It's finding where it wants to put your money. Sometimes it flops completely. You had a pretty good intent here, but the quality of customer was terrible. I didn't care. I didn't touch it because this is a historically good ad. Switch it back to date range, even just to today. Look, woke up this morning. It's doing quite well. And I'll probably be bumping this budget very soon because historically, this has been a very good campaign. It's been good. Probably is around a 2 ROAS. So there you go. That's why understanding fluctuation is so important. No matter how good your ads are, no matter what, I don't care how good they are, your ad account will always fluctuate up and down and up and down and up and down. And when I'm working with somebody and they get their first product off the ground, or they first start making money, or their campaigns are doing well, the hardest thing to deal with is always helping them understand that this is okay. Fluctuation is fine. You can have a day where you're almost break even, and then the next day you could have your best day ever. It's how it works. That's how meta works, and if you really don't like it and you can't take that as an answer, you gotta expand sales channels. Gotta get onto Google. Gotta open up TikTok. Maybe open up an organic account. You'll need other sales channels to supplement meta, because meta will always be like this. And that is extremely important to know, and that's the truth. And anybody that knows what they're talking about can confirm that is very true. But yeah, that is how me kind of prospecting, figuring out what angles work for this brand is going. It's honestly very good for me to have a brand from the ground up being made like this. where I'm not even a little bit in the red in the first couple of days, because usually that's for everybody I know. And for me, most of the time when it's a brand from scratch, how it goes. Like, you're testing and you're down money because you don't know what's working, and then you go up a bunch. This is one of the first times ever that a completely unaware, brand new product for me has been profitable off rip. And then usually around this time, it shoots up. So excited to see where I take this. That means my hit rate so far on products for 2025 is 100%. Hopefully, 2026. My hit rate for 2026 is 100%. Hopefully I can keep it that way. And I hope you guys found value out of this video. I'm going to go to New York. I will be back on Monday, and then I will film another video for you guys. Peace.